On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony plays a lot of Paladins, and Ethan is shaken, not stirred. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Sorry, I'm still amused by the intro.
You wrote it.
I know. I didn't think it would sound that dumb to me, but it's. I like it. I just didn't think it was gonna be that weird.
Some things sound very different on paper than they do coming out of someone's mouth.
True.
So, yeah, there you go. Man, what has happened this week? Not much.
Stadia came out.
Stadia did come out, and I've not heard good or bad things about it, really.
I've heard
Just
both.
The things that I've heard are like, it works. You probably shouldn't get it yet, though, because it's not that good.
It's like for the people it works for, it works. For the people it doesn't work for, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then there's the people in between where it kind of works and kind of doesn't.
Yeah, but then you've also got well, it works, but why would you pick this over an actual console?
Especially with all the games that have come out or that are on it, it's like 99% of those games exist on on consoles already, run
Yeah.
perfectly, if not better, and you can physically own these games.
Yeah.
And so
Like
you're not having to look at a subscription service that may or may not just get dropped in a couple of years.
Yeah. I completely understand the appeal of Stadia, not having a physical thing, not having to worry about discs that you're going to lose. Being able to just say, okay, I don't want to play this game. Boom, you buy the game, you're done. You can start playing immediately. But their list of games compared to the list of games that Microsoft has in their version of this in beta is night and day. Plus, with Microsoft, once they get xCloud up and running, you've got Game Pass, which gives you access to a huge library of games that Stadia doesn't have at no additional cost. So, I they're sort of behind the eight ball, and I don't know that they're going to be able to beat the competitors once they get their streaming services up and running.
It is very worrisome on how this is going to work out for them.
They're banking on people, being the first really out there in this current generation, because this is not the first time people have tried game streaming, and it hasn't worked in the past because infrastructure wasn't there.
But now now it kind of is, and so it's let's try something different and
Yeah,
see how it goes.
they're banking on being the first ones out there and getting their name out in front of people before xCloud comes out and whatever Sony's doing with the PS5 and their streaming service if they get one.
Burying Google.
Yeah. So, but we're not here to talk about Stadia right now because neither of us have any hands-on experience with it.
We do not. Even if we had pre-ordered, we probably still would be waiting for it.
It's a very good, good point.
I'll be honest, there was like a 30-minute thought process where I was contemplating it.
Oh, like I have considered it as well, but I don't want to buy a Chromecast plus the controller and
Plus the subscription fee.
yeah,
And then you're stuck having to pay $60 for the game on top of that subscription fee, which honestly isn't that different from buying the console, buying the online, whatever you want to call it, whether it's Xbox Live or PS Plus or whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you have to still buy your game.
I'm in the xCloud beta. Then I can play it on my phone or my tablet. I don't have to buy an additional device. The only thing I need is an Xbox controller. So, for a third of the price, I can get into streaming games there on my phone compared to being being able to do it on my TV. Um,
I,
but
I have heard that the controller is actually really good when it does work.
is it
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
okay? Well, what have you been playing this week that is not on Stadia?
I played a VR game. See your Stadia do that.
Yeah, the VR streaming, we're not there yet.
It probably would. Actually, it would probably work a lot better since that's a smaller package to stream over than a like 8 GB or 56 GB game. Because most VR games are like maybe 500 megabytes, if that.
Yeah.
There was a update to I Expect You to Die. This is
Okay.
the secret agent, kind of like James Bond VR game where you're in a stationary location trying to solve puzzles in a room, and you have kind of like a psychic power thing where you can pull items to you or push them away and then like lock them in place and such. I don't know if we were still Nintendo Oki at the time I played this originally. We might have been. Actually, I'm pretty sure we were. But there's been, I want to say it's been a couple of years now, because I originally played this on PlayStation VR, and I went and bought the Steam version, which is HT for my HTC Vive.
Yeah.
So I had to start from the beginning all over again. But the original was four levels, and that was it. And since then, they've added uh, 3 additional levels. Uh, so you would do your original 4, and then you come back on the new one, and it adds the 3 additional levels. So you have the vacation you take after your final mission,
Hmm.
and secret agents never have a vacation. Then you'll infiltrate the boss lair right after that one, and you discover the plans and escape. And then you have the final one where you're up in space trying to do stuff, and you get an actual ending with credits.
Okay.
But the vacation one's pretty cool. You're on a train. The train's stopped for whatever reason. You can look out the window and see 2 like tanks are blocking the way, and
Hmm.
there's all these clues around you that you're supposed to look for, so you can press buttons on a wall or something to open hidden doors and such. And the room you're in is a secret agent room, so you have all these gadgets appearing here and there. And it was just really fun going back to this puzzle situation. I think it took me 5 tries on the first visit to this one new level because I had no idea what to do. It
Yeah.
was just kind of a guessing game. It's like, all right, I did this and it was really bad. What else can I do that might make it better? Or it's like, okay, this is working just fine, but I'm dying because this happens and I don't know why. So it was really great getting to go through the original 4 and then all these new ones.
Yeah.
And the Zero G level was a lot of fun.
Interesting. Yeah, this is one of those games that sounds really cool, but I don't have the ability to play it and would really like to.
It's definitely oh, what's the word I use to describe uh, uh, job simulator? Kind of like that. It's very beginner friendly
Hmm.
because there's an actual tutorial. You're sitting through there, and they tell you, okay, press this button, do this, and they make sure you're familiar with the controls. And then even when they get done, you can still just keep doing whatever,
Nice.
and then you can go and start the mission. And it actually is really beginner friendly, and then it kind of just dials up a little quicker than you would expect, but the option to retry or restart or whatever is never uh it never feels like a major punishment because most levels can be beaten within 2 minutes if you're trying for the speed run race. In fact, the first level the speed run time that they want you to beat it under is 35 seconds.
Wow.
And I on my first visit back here, I did it within 45, tried it again, got 41. It's like I know I can do it. I'm just too mad to figure out why I'm too slow at it now, and so I just gave up on
Hmm.
that.
Well, I imagine you'll be able to get that time down pretty easily. Well, maybe not easily, but
Most of the levels they are timed though, where like you have maybe a maximum of 10 minutes before they uh, have bad things start happening, like blowing you up or whatever.
yeah. Do you run up against that timeline a lot?
You don't actually see the physical timer; it's just kind of mentioned in passing in most
Oh,
cases.
okay. Because that's one of the things, I don't really like in games is a time limit on
Well,
levels.
it's like if you're on the last level on there, it's obvious there's a time limit as compared to the first level where it's like, I don't think there's a time limit, so I'm just going to keep doing my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we ran into some time limits with playing some Luigi's Mansion this week, and it got frustrating a couple of times.
Yes, those are very restrictive time limits.
So, the problem is we weren't doing something we should have been doing because we thought we needed more players, and
To be fair, understanding that mechanic before you try it out is the reason we weren't doing that. There's 8 lights on there, and I know you can have 8 people on that button to activate it.
yeah,
And Luigi, there's only 4 Luigis and 4 Guigis. So the assumption on there to get all 8 lights going is okay. This is built for 4 people or for 8 people, so we can't do this. So it's just like probably I was expecting maybe it's just an upgrade room or something.
yeah. Not
But
realizing that
then
there were
Shelby
times when
comes
we
in, he
needed
gets
to.
3 lights, I get 2, and then you get 3. It's like okay, that's 8. Good times.
Yeah. Oh, ooh, that was incredibly fun to play.
Yeah, we need to get a fourth person and go back in there.
Yeah, I think much like I think the main game is really geared toward multiplayer, even though it is technically a single player game. I think that multiplayer, the Scarescraper mode, is really designed for having 4 to 8 players and not 3 to 6.
It's like if we could go in there in a second, like if I'm on my console, I could have a second person controlling Luigi, and like we all did that and make it a true 8 player thing. That would be great.
Yeah, and I think you can. I think that's the only way to. I think that's probably the only way to actually do 8 players, 2 people per console.
I'm looking
Um,
up to see if it's 8 player.
you can have up to 8 players in the game.
Really?
Yeah, it is an 8 player multiplayer game.
Okay, yeah, it says 8 players. Okay,
So
so
I
so
think
I would have to
that
have
would
a
make
friend here with me to do my Luigi part.
the game incredibly fun if you could find a way to get 8 players to be able to play together. Um, but 4 would work, and I think the game really is designed for 4 players.
It was,
So,
I mean, even with 3 people, we were kind of scraping by at the starting stuff on there.
yeah, there were a few times where we did manage to just barely beat the time limits because they're very short. They're like 3 or 4 minutes to finish a floor, and you have to do one of 3 different things, and it's get rid of all the ghosts, find a specific number of coins, and for us it was always 7,500. I wonder if that scales, and like if you have 4 players it would be find 10,000 coins. um, or find all the toads, and the toads are hidden throughout different rooms on each floor. um,
You lose your vacuum at random times.
that's I was not prepared for that when that happened. We
None
were
of us
just
were.
wandering around, and then all of a sudden there's a loud noise and like a lightning flash, and all of our vacuum cleaners disappeared. We had
Oh
to
man.
then go find them in the levels. So
The first time that happened, that was a panic moment because it's like, what do I do?
yeah, and the next one time it happened, I was stuck in a car trap, and was it Shelby that was standing next to me, or was it you?
I think Shelby was next to you, and I was the one who was like, oh, I see where mine's at, and had to run all the way to get it, but ended up finding Shelby's, and I can't pick that up, so.
Yeah. Which is crazy to see a vacuum cleaner lying on the ground and you can't use it because it's not yours. And so I'm stuck in a carpet trying to get out. Shelby has no vacuum cleaner. There's a vacuum on the floor that you can't pick up because it's not yours.
All the tools to rescue you are right there.
And then of course there are power-ups in each floor that do different things, like some goggles that let you see invisible items, super suction vacuum cleaner, automatic flash bulbs.
It was
And
like supercharged flashbulb.
if you get all of the power ups on one character, they look ridiculous. Because and then there's one that's like a siren that is like
Oh,
a
well, I mean, that's the cherry on top.
yeah. So you've got this giant red flashing light on your head, these goggles that are glowing like under a black light, and then a vacuum cleaner that's going off like a
Looks like a
strobe
hot
light.
rod on you. And
Yeah,
then your nozzle's flashing because, or sparking because it's got a strobe light attached to it ready to go. It's just.
yeah.
And then the last one, you can get a star, makes you invincible, and instant kills ghost.
Which came in handy the one time we found it.
The one time I found it, there was no ghost near me. I was like, well, this is useless.
So, so yeah, that multiplayer was incredibly fun. I think we definitely do need to play some more of that. And if anybody out there in the community has the game, we should try to um, play that with a full 4-player party at some point.
Make sure you have Scare Scraper mode unlocked. It's like, an hour into the game, you have to have like all
Eh,
the base upgrades unlocked. Strobe light, dark light, or not? No, it's dark light, Guigi, and what else is it?
Uh, the jump,
Was that an upgrade?
I maybe it's not.
I think once you have Guigi on, either way, EGAD will tell you when you have
Yeah,
Scare Scraper unlocked, and
yeah, it's not very far into the game at all.
it's like an hour and a half if you rush it. Yeah.
So, well, have you been playing anything else?
No, that's all for me.
All right. Well, aside from Luigi's Mansion, all I have been playing this week is Paladins. Uh,
Paladins.
Jake and I have been playing that every night for at least an hour, between an hour and 2 hours every night. Um, I bought the battle pass for both of us, so I have spent money on this free to play game.
Twice. No,
I
you
think
bought it
this
just
is
for yourself, right?
well, I bought it for me and for him.
Well, I mean,
So
like on your account. I misspoke. Sorry.
yeah. So well, he's got it on his account and I've got it on mine. So I,
Oh,
I did I did buy the battle pass twice technically this week.
I was trying to help you there, but nope.
So no, I'm contemplating at some point buying the all characters upgrade, which is currently on sale right now for $10, but I have not bought it yet. It's normally 30 and it gives you access to all I think 43 champions plus any future champions that they release and there are 4 coming up.
Cool.
So throughout 2020 they'll be releasing 4 new characters. Uh, but the reason I bought the battle pass this time um, is because the reward for the final level of the battle pass, if you get to level 50, is a skin for the character that I main, Tyra, which puts her in. The whole theme is Wild West themed this time. So
Wild Wild West.
all of the characters that have skins in this battle pass make it, they make them look like cowboys. There's one that one of the characters, Khan, who is normally like this huge armored guy, it turns him into this like steampunk sort of robot, but he's got a leather jacket on and a cowboy hat, so he's like a steampunk sort of sheriff is what he looks like.
Hmm.
And then Tyra's gives her this big hat and a giant red froofy dress and a gun which is really cool, which has this cool silver. It's a red gun with some silver outlines, not outlines, decorations. Like there's a giant rose on the top of it. It changes up some of the animations of the
Would you
characters.
really
So,
say they're paladins if they're in Wild West
I mean,
decor?
there could be a paladin in the Wild West.
Could there? I mean, after a while, you're like, okay, that's not a paladin. That's just an angry nun from the Catholic Church.
That's true. Good point.
And she'll beat you down with the ruler.
So, and I am currently 5,000 experience points away from level 30 in the battle pass. So,
Hmm.
I'm getting there. I'm getting as close as I can. If you go through these battle passes twice, it basically gives you get there's four characters that have skins, and then if you go through the battle pass once and you start to go through it a second time, each of those characters has an alternate skin, which they say they will never sell in the game. So,
Oh.
um, so you have to go through 100 levels of the battle pass to get all of these exclusive skins that once the battle pass is done, you'll never be able to get, which is kind of frustrating because I know I won't get to level 100, which is where I need to get if I want both skins for the character that I play.
Destiny's kind of doing the same thing with its season pass on theirs.
Yeah.
And you just keep leveling up. I'm level 78 right now. As of this recording, there's 15 days and an hour and a half left on the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to hit 100 so I can get all the goodies unlocked from that, or I just don't ever get them.
Yeah.
And
And
and it's easy enough to get at least 2 a day, so I can easily do this.
I think we've got 45 days left in the battle pass for this season
Wow.
of Paladins. Their battle passes usually last 60 days, so that's how long their seasons are.
This one, I want to say this one was like fairly lengthy. I can't remember how long it was, but it's nearing the end of the time limit on there, so
Yeah.
that's
And
why
I
I'm a
think
little
I've
more interested in that one now.
I think I've finally found characters in each of the different classes. Four classes. I think I've found a character in each class I like to play. So uh, I don't just have the one character that I like to play, and if I don't get if I need to play a different character in a different class to balance out the team, I can do that now, which is where before
Before you just
I,
had that
I couldn't.
one character you could specialized in, that was it.
Yeah. Previous to playing it this time around with this season of the Battle Pass, I was one character and that was it. I hadn't put any time into any of the other characters, and so now I've expanded my horizons a little bit, and I have different characters that I can play. So
Cool.
that game is so much fun, though. I am way more. I'm having way more fun with this game than I ever thought I would have. And a lot of it comes down to just playing with Jake every night. So if I was playing it by myself, I probably wouldn't have put nearly as much time into it. Um, but playing with him an hour or two every night has been a lot of fun.
Cool.
So, but that is all that I have been playing, and probably all I will play for quite a while. Uh, Paladins has become my destiny. So,
Aw.
um,
Even though you have Destiny
even though I
for
have destiny, yeah.
free.
Uh, Paladins is the game that I've put as much time into playing. Well, I haven't put as much time into playing as you've done with Destiny, um, but I've put a lot of time into Paladins. So, but let's take a quick break. We will come back and we will talk about the news. So, Ethan,
Tony.
Valve is making a new video game.
That's insanity. You speak of lies.
Oh no, I thought so at first when I heard the news. It's like there's no way Valve is making a new video game,
It
but
is
it's
not
true.
April 1st, good sir.
Just wait, they're making a new Half-Life game.
I just said it's not April 1st.
It that may be true, and it is because it's not April 1st, and Valve is making a new Half-Life video game. It's not Half-Life 3 though, so don't get too excited. I mean, you can still get excited because
Well,
the game
yeah,
actually
it's a
looks
new
really good.
Half-Life game. There we go.
It's been what 12 years since the last
It's
Half-Life
been
game.
quite. Yeah, I think I was not quite in college yet.
Yeah, it is. It's been a while since a Half-Life game was made, and Valve this week announced Half-Life Alyx, which is a new entry in the series that takes place between, I think they said between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2.
It takes place just sometime before 2, yes.
And it is a what they're calling a full-length VR game. So it will be VR exclusive. You will not be able to play it just on a computer straight up, mouse and keyboard. You will have to have Valve's VR headset to play it.
Valve's VR specifically, right?
Yes, yes, it is exclusive to Valve's VR headset.
So that's not HTC Vive. That is Valve's. What's that called? Steam. I'm trying to delay long enough so I can see the name and say it.
Oh,
Valve
wait, hold
Index.
on. Yeah, Valve Index. I just read through this, or reread through the story, and it is not exclusive to
Oh,
specifically theirs. It will work on all PC compatible VR headsets.
okay. HTC Vive, uh,
Oculus.
Oculus, and then also that whatever the Microsoft one that's out there.
Um, Pre-orders are open now.
$54
People,
for pre-ordering. ten
yes,
percent off right now.
unless you own Valve's Index VR headset, then you get it for free.
And that will run you a pretty. Oh, pause. uh, Hope no audio got through on that. That'll run you a pretty $1,000.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That's
So,
a headset, two controllers, two sensors, that wall-mounted sensor things, and might as well just say it also comes with. You can say it comes with a Half-Life game, or you can say that's part of the cost.
mhm. Yeah, and the game will be out March 2020. So we're actually not that far away from it. This is
Oh,
actually probably the best part of the news story is that they're not announcing a game and then it's like 2 years
the best kept secret. Valve
before
was
we
working
get to
on a
play it.
Half-Life game.
So yeah, the fact
Take
that
that,
this didn't get
Nintendo.
out, the fact that this didn't get out before now is incredible. So yeah, 4 months from now, March 2020, you will be able to play a brand new Half-Life game.
It's like Gabe had someone locked in his basement at his personal house somewhere in New Mexico.
Yeah, and then of course Valve says the game takes place between Half-Life 1 and 2. It will focus on Alex Vance and her father Eli and their fight against the Combine.
It looked like he was using sort of a short-range glove version of the gravity gun in the trailer or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think they shorted out at some point. She had to throw the gloves off. But it's been a couple of days since I watched it, and also I saw it only on my phone at work with the sound off.
So, so there you go. Brand new Half-Life game that people can get excited for. Uh, I do not own a VR headset, so I will not be able to play this. So that's going to be on you. You're going to have to play this so we can.
Oh, I probably will.
So,
I'll sell you a
let's-
VR headset for 600, Tony.
yeah, I don't think so.
Just put that towards my get the Valve Index headset fund.
Yeah, I don't even own a computer that I could connect a headset to, so I certainly wouldn't pay $600 for a headset that's going to collect dust.
Just watch the video on your Nintendo Labo.
Yeah, there you go. I have a Labo headset. That's all the VR I need. And if I got a VR set up right now, it would probably go. I'd probably go with PSVR, just because that
It
is the
is
cheapest,
it is cheap.
and
And
I
it's
have a
very
PlayStation.
convenient to have.
So, and I keep thinking, I'm gonna jump into the VR pond at some point. I really wish somebody put some more stuff out for VR on Switch. Like, it doesn't have to be a mind blowing game, just something. I want to
Something
play
good at
something,
least.
something VR.
Something that
Yeah.
plays good.
Like, there's some I wouldn't play them, but four Five Nights at Freddy's games coming to the Switch this month.
4, I thought it was 3.
They added the fourth one.
Oh, okay, because I was watching yesterday's news. Apparently, it was just 3 still.
Yeah, it was three, but there are now four listed in the eShop if you check the coming soon
Okay, that's good because that
section.
is the main storyline right there, without splitting off into like sister location and other things.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
what? Let's see. That comes out what, November 29th?
it's the
Yeah, Friday.
is it Friday?
Yeah, that's Friday.
Okay, the Friday after Thanksgiving.
You can get on the
Each
Black Friday sale for whatever they're selling it for.
each of those games are $7 a piece.
That's Five Nights
So
at 1, 2, 3, and 4. If 4 isn't there, Tony lied.
four is there. I saw it the other day in the eShop with my own eyes. So yeah, brand new Half-Life game. That is exciting news in just by itself. That Valve is going back to that universe.
Yes, Half Life, not FNAF.
Yeah.
It's amazing how we're just bouncing around from topics here.
So, speaking of the Switch, though, the Switch has a new fastest selling release, and that it is Pokemon. The Pokemon Company this week revealed that Sword in its first 7 days on sale have sold 6 million copies.
Sword and Shield sold 6 million copies around the
6 million
globe.
copies. Yep. Uh, um, in that time, in the first 7 days, 1.3 million of those were in Japan, and then the U.S. they sold over 2 million copies in just the first 2 days. So that game sold very quickly, and it reviewed really well. Most of the people that I've seen talking about it online have said that the game is incredibly fun to play.
And most of the people you saw talking about it online before it came out that were not reviewers were complaining about the game.
Yeah. So,
So keep that in mind.
despite all the negativity before release, the game has proven to be very popular. Which is not really that surprising. I mean, I expected a Pokemon game that is a main series Pokemon game to sell pretty well.
I've seen videos of people's whatever it is that where you just get to watch your Pokemon walking around together and stuff.
Yeah,
And someone had like just all the evolutions out there, and it's so adorable.
yeah. I saw one person had taken a rubber band and connected their Joy-Con, the analog sticks together, so that their character was running around in circles, so they could, I guess, hatch an egg
Oh,
in the game. Um, so in
it's
the
the way you do
characters,
it.
The character is just running around in a circle. And of course, every comment was, if only you had a Joy-Con that drifted to do that for you. Or, that's a
Nice.
great way to make your Joy-Cons drift. Um,
I believe it.
so, and I don't think that would actually affect the Joy-Cons in any way. They have to be constantly like moving around and moving quickly for the stuff inside it to wear out and cause the Joy-Con drift. So just being pushed in one direction, I don't think is going to affect them too much.
Although it might affect the way the controller handles going that direction sometime in the future, where it might seem slower in that direction or faster or something. It's
That's true.
I've had
You
like a
can
PlayStation controller do that same thing. Actually, two of
you
them did
can
that.
recalibrate the joysticks though, so that might help uh, alleviate any issues you have from that.
Oh, neat.
So, yeah, Pokemon so far 6 million copies, and I don't think it's done selling. So we're going to see that number, I think, get significantly higher before the game starts to dwindle.
I
Uh,
I mean, I still haven't gotten a copy of it because I just haven't been interested in Pokemon in the last couple of
uh,
games.
I haven't either, but I have a bunch of kids in the house who are very eager to play the game. So come Christmas time, we might be looking at something like that. So we shall see. And I'd probably play it. Like it's one of those games that I'm not going to go out and just pick up for myself. But if the kids are playing it, I might mess around with it for a little bit. Uh,
It is kind of scary when you see people's videos and it's like they're being chased by giant teddy bears and stuff.
yeah, because you don't have the random battles anymore, and
No.
that started with I guess the Let's Go games.
Yes.
They didn't have random battles either. The Pokemon were
Yeah,
all
but
out
it
on the
didn't seem
field.
like the Pokemon would chase you either, especially in
Uh,
groups of like five or more.
no, I don't. There weren't too many areas where you would get into those random battles. They got rid of a lot of that stuff in the Let's Go games.
Hmm.
Um, there were some spots, and they would chase you a little bit, but if you got more than just a few steps away, they'd leave you alone.
Yeah, but I
So
mean,
they
this
didn't.
is like on a scale of, oh my gosh, it's a blood hunt.
um,
Speaking of
so
blood hunts,
I'm not sure how you tie that into Animal Crossing.
Shannon
Uh,
would find a way.
that's true, by murdering all of his villagers. Nintendo a couple weeks ago announced that Animal Crossing Pocket Camp would be getting some paid subscriptions, and those two subscriptions, there were two of them that they talked about. Both of those went live this week. So there is a subscription that you can get for $2.99 a month, which is called the Happy Helper Plan,
Ooh,
and that will let you pick one of your favorite villagers as a campsite helper. And when you're not playing the game, they'll go around and collect event items and do small tasks in the game, basically playing the game for you while you're gone.
so you have nothing to do when you get back but reap rewards,
That's right. And
and
then
then you
turn the
just
game
turn the
off.
game back off. Yeah.
Yep. And you also get 60 leaf tickets, which do something in the game, but I have not played enough of that. I quit playing after just a couple of days when I downloaded it. So the leaf tickets let you do different things in the game. I think part of it was purchasing the fortune cookies in the game, which are the subject of the next subscription service that you can get. And this one is $7.99 a month, and it will give you 5 fortune cookies, which are basically Pocket Camp's version of loot boxes. They'll give you random items
Loot
um,
boxes.
in the game. Uh, this $7.99 subscription gives you 5 of those, and it lets you pick from fortune cookies that aren't around anymore. So you can get items that other players who are still just playing for free don't have access to anymore. You get 5 of those a month, and normally those are 50 leaf tickets per chance. So it seems like it's a pretty decent value if you play a lot. If you are trying to get a lot of those items that are specific to fortune cookies, You can do that faster with this subscription service than you normally would, because those leaf tickets are the premium currency in the game that you would spend real money for normally. And they usually give you a piece of furniture or some kind of clothing. So, for anybody that's playing Pocket Camp, you now have
No reason to play.
pretty much. You can get those 2 subscription services, get your 5 loot boxes, and your helper will just collect them for you. And I don't think that's actually how it will work, but I think you have to go in and choose the loot boxes or the fortune cookies.
Oh, you can't pick the best one for me? That's lame.
So you have to go in, get your 5 fortune cookies, and then turn the game off, and your helper will do everything else for you.
I guess it's fine.
I'm just wondering how much of this is going to come to the Switch version of Animal
Can I
Crossing.
just pay for everyone in my Pocket Camp to be my helper? That way they do everything and get it done quicker?
I don't think you can get multiple subscriptions for the same thing.
Eh.
They don't have like a helper bundle that will give you multiple helpers. So it's one helper and then one fortune cookie subscription. That's all you can do.
Okay.
So, of course, you have to be playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp to take advantage of these. Which is where, that's where I run into an issue because I'm not playing the game.
We all run into that same issue.
Apparently, people still play it. I don't know how big the player base is for the game anymore, but I don't
Not
think
big enough because they are needing money, apparently.
I was gonna say that it's big enough that maybe there's a demand for some of these loot boxes, or this is just a way for them to maybe try to get people to come back into the game and be like, well, where normally you couldn't get fortune cookies very quickly. Well, now we've given you a way that you can do that if you come back and play the game.
Oh,
So,
those clever rascals.
just wait when they announce that everything you've got in Pocket Camp will move over to your Switch version of the game. So,
They'll probably have some bonus to the Switch version. I don't know.
oh, I'm sure they will. We'll see. We're 4 months away from that game too, because it comes out in March. I
It's
think
gonna be a busy March.
23rd, 24th, something like that.
Something like that.
It's right around the time of my anniversary. I just don't remember exactly what day the game comes out.
Just think back to E3. They said everything comes out in March, and that's where everything's gonna come out. So look forward to it.
There you go. That will be it for the news. So let's move on to listener feedback for this week. And our first one comes from Nathan via Facebook, and he wants to know if we have any thoughts on the upcoming death of Adobe Flash. I'll be sad to see tons of Flash games die. That's a ton of internet history that's going, but I get why, since Flash is crazy vulnerable to malware and exploits. In particular, I'm really sad to see Super Mario Flash and Super Mario Flash 2 from Level Palace going. I completely forgot that this was actually a thing, that they're killing off Flash.
That's pretty much going to kill Newgrounds. Oh my gosh.
I think so. I don't play any Flash games, so it probably won't affect me too much.
I don't play them either, but I do like the nostalgia of maybe one day I could get Newgrounds pulled up and play something on there, or watch some old animations like Super Flash Bros. and some other
Homestar Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the only interaction with Flash that I have anymore is at work, and they're making sure that anything we do that is related to Flash is going to work when it does officially have the plug pulled. So I mean, I'm not sad, I'm not happy, I'm sort of to the death of Flash, because while it is sad that a lot of that stuff may be going away, for anything that is still popular, people will find a way to make it work in browsers without Flash if they haven't already.
Yeah, I can't think of the last time I had to use Flash for anything at all, other than watching a video on Newgrounds, really. So
Yeah.
this has like zero impact on me.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. And then our question of the week for this week was, what Dreamcast game would you like to see make a resurgence or get a remake? And he said Sonic Adventure. Actually, never mind. That would mess it up like they have for over a decade now.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is a that's a that's a really great question.
I'd actually have to look up a list of Dreamcast games. I never owned a Dreamcast, so I don't have a ton of nostalgia for it. If I was over at a friend's house, we were usually playing uh, the NFL 2K games, I think, on Dreamcast. So
There are a ton of, well, I say a ton. There's a good handful of Dreamcast. Well, gosh, there's a lot of Dreamcast games actually. But
uh,
I mean, for a system that was so short lived, it was a great system, really.
yeah,
Um,
anybody that owned a Dreamcast loved it.
Dude, I've owned like three of them. I still use my original.
Yeah.
It's in fact, like I said, I think last time I talked about it, it's still hooked up. It's still right there, plugged in, ready and raring to go.
And Shenmue 3 finally came out this week.
Oh gosh,
So
that did come out. I didn't even open mine. It's just on the shelf. I haven't played Shenmue 1 or 2.
mm. I pl- I played quite a bit of Crazy Taxi on the Friends Dreamcast.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
that would be one
want.
that's had a re-release. I don't know if I think it was just a mobile release or something.
Yeah.
And then again, I don't know if they kept Offspring's uh, any of those Offspring soundtracks on there or not for that. I like Offspring. That band's great. In fact, I bought Hot Sauce from Gringo Bandito, which is owned by Dexter Holland, lead singer of Offspring.
Okay.
And they just did their final Private Reserve Hot Sauce, and this is the 10th one, and so I bought a package of that too. Let's see here. Choo Choo Rocket was a pretty good game on there.
Uh, Typing
Crazy
of the Dead.
Taxi 1 and 2. Typing of the Dead. Oh gosh. Oh man, that's like a good and bad game at the same time. Dead or Alive. That's the first time. Dead or Alive 2 is the first time I ever played it was on a Dreamcast.
Yeah. I played a lot, like a lot of NFL 2K on there.
I played a lot of Power Stone. A lot of was it Zombies? What was that zombie game Micah really loves? Zombie
House of the
Revenge.
Dead.
No,
Oh,
Zombie Revenge. There were, the system was basically a Sega arcade home arcade thing, really.
hmm.
Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2. Oh gosh. The game there's you can look at the list of games, and there's the ones that are gonna obviously get that would obviously get a remake or have had a remake, like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 had
Yeah.
HD re-releases, or a superior version released on a GameCube system, we'll say.
Hmm. What
But
about Virtua Fighter?
that's had sequels released since then, right?
I don't know.
I think so. Like Soul Calibur was on Dreamcast, and that's had uh, multiple sequels released.
Yeah.
Let's see. The game I'm thinking of, I'm trying to find it in this list here because I don't want to watch the. Hey, Code Veronica, that's a game. After Capcom gets done remaking Resident Evil 3, which supposedly they're doing now,
Yep,
Maybe
there's a
they'll work
rumor
on
that
that
that'll
one
be out next year.
because Code Veronica would probably be. Code Veronica is technically 4, I guess, at this point, right? Even though there is a 4. God, why
Yeah.
can I not find this game?
Did we see that Resident Evil 8 is coming?
That I think that was a joke. I
Oh,
think
was
I
it?
don't know. I haven't seen anything concrete.
Yeah. Capcom certainly hasn't announced anything official, I
Oh,
don't think.
here's the game I want to see a remake or a re-release of: Gundam Side Story 0079 Rise from the Ashes.
What is that?
Oh man. So this is a uh okay, when you think Gundam, are you thinking Super Robot or are you thinking War Story?
The
It,
only thing I think of when I think of Gundam are number one, all of the Gundams around the walls in Shelby's house,
okay, so
and
you're
then
gonna think the Super Robot type.
I'm thinking robots in space with swords.
Okay, so they have the Super type, which are the Gundams, like you see in like Gundam Wing, and then there's also regular types, and occasionally there's the Gundam, which is a powered up version of a regular type. And the Gundam part usually has like the gold V thing on its head or whatever.
Yeah,
But this game, you are piloting one of like, I think you have 2 or 3 different mechs you can pick from originally on here, and it's just a regular mobile suit that you or mech, whatever you want to call it, and you're in a squadron. It's, 3 of you are in mechs, and then your fourth one, she's in like a little sonar tank thing that doesn't really fight, so
yeah,
she can go get around and scan the area for you from safety. And so it's all you play the game from the cockpit of your mech. It's really awesome, and you'll have your guns that you can pick from, and you also have kind of a melee option when you get close enough where you'll just pull out the sword and like charge forward, and it's just really different compared to a bunch of games I'd played at the time. It's probably actually a really bad game. I'm not really sure because I'm kind of thinking on nostalgia right now on this one.
hmm
But the final mission, they give you Gundam class uh, normal mech, so it's like a souped up mech, and you have like all these better options on there. But that's the only mission you get to use that for is the final one.
yeah. Okay.
But like your teammates will talk to you and stuff during the missions. You decide where they go on the map. Like you just pause it and say, "Okay, I want him to go here and him to go here," and she scans from over here, and then you just go off and do the objective. It's really great, especially after you beat it. You have all these unlockables. Like you can add pictures to the mechs, like you see in like old war documentaries. Like a guy's like in his like in his uh, jet fighter or whatever. He would have the picture of his wife or whatever in there with him.
Mm.
So you'd have like pictures of you and your friends in there. It's really awesome. I say really awesome. It's probably bad. But then you also have the options to unlock extra weapons, like some beam weapons. There's one level where you got beam weapons in, and they were only for that level. And so this one unlocks like that weapon and like 2 other ones that you didn't get in the original game. So that was always fun to mess with as well.
hmm Dude, in mech games, I saw some footage of Mech Warrior 5 this week. Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
gosh.
that game looks so good.
Mech games are just getting really awesome these days.
And Mech Warrior is my mech series. Like I want big lumbering,
You want
you know.
you want that heavy mech feeling when you're playing the game, right?
Yes.
I think you would probably enjoy the Gundam game then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you a YouTube video so you can see.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Okay.
Um, but for now, that will be the end of the show for this week. So
Did you
thank
pick a
you,
game from
Ethan.
the list?
I'd said a bunch of games, but
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with the Dreamcast, so I don't have one that I can be like, this is the game that I want to see.
Ikaruga.
I like Ikaruga. The Grinch, that was a really good, Dreamcast game. Sure, I'll pick the Grinch. That's what I want to see come back. So,
Okay.
but that will be the show for this week. So thank you, Ethan, for being here.
Yep. Thank you for being here as well, Tony.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.